Testing, testing, testing sound. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to the season finale of the Season 2 here at the International Racing League. My name is Webbo, here to join you tonight for the broadcast, and we are going to have an Abu Dhabi double points finale here with a sprint as well, so we can't wait to get underway. I'm going to do my level best to try and give you an update on the points as I see them, because we have a four-way battle brewing right now, and just like the real life F1, it's a battle for second place in the championship. The Drivers' Championship, that was done and dusted a long time ago, but what we're looking at here is Spud on 150, Captain Nike on 147, with Sticky on 131 and Ollie on 125. So as tonight's double points situation rolls on, I will try and give you the best update possible. If I have any volunteers in our viewing audience, then please take over that particular task for me. But before we do anything, we're going to go into one-shot qualifying. So blink and you miss it. Let's try and follow the drivers around this modified version of the Yas Marina circuit here, the second iteration, as the drivers get their setups ready, and we will be underway very shortly. And I will do my best to try and stay with the fastest driver in qualifying as it ebbs and flows between the drivers throughout the three sectors on this racetrack here. And we'll have daylight conditions to start, and I think we'll be heading into the night as well through towards the end of our broadcast tonight. Looking forward to this one. Of course, this is the final hurrah for Season 2. And I'd love it if you would drop me a note as to your favourite highlights of the season so far here on the live chat tonight. If you're watching with us live, do say hello. Do make sure that I can interact with you and tell me who you're cheering for or who you're here to support. If you are here to support a driver, and if you're not, then if you find a new favourite, then let me know as well. Well, obviously, it has all been about Moist, who has taken the championship by a country mile and who continued his fantastic form in the previous race in Brazil, which was my debut here with the league, and he continued his impressive display, winning again and winning by a decent margin as well, although he didn't have it all his own way at the very start of the race. So we'll be looking to see how that pattern continues. Can any of those drivers gunning for second place try and find their way up to the very front today and try and finish the Season 2 in the way in which they'd love to take forward into Season 3, which will be with us before you know it, I'm sure. I'm waiting for confirmation as to the dates on Season 3, but as things stand, we have for you, I think, 11 drivers ready to take on this difficult circuit tonight, and they're right on it now. And straight away, we'll join Ash K first of all and try and stay with him, or stay with the fastest driver at the moment. Well, it's not Jazzy Jim at the moment, but we're going to drop over to Moist here in the Aston Martin as we head into turn 3. The car can get unloaded through turn 3, one to watch out for, and then the straight run down towards the to the hairpin at the far east of the circuit, before, of course, the longest straight, or at least the longest full power section. It looks like a cloudy day here in Abu Dhabi, unusually, and then we'll go down for the newly numbered turn 6, and one of the best overtaking opportunities here. Just try and find the nicest route through here that you can carry the speed. Open the DRS once again down the long curving banana straight all the way to the slightly banked turn 9 now. Brake at or just after the 50-meter board. Try and hook the inside if possible, and then how fast dare you run through these next two corners before hitting the brakes? Well, you've got to brake very, very hard and slightly turning at the same time. Cadence braking, trail braking, very important through here. And then we try and survive the Latifi corner with 2 to go to finish out the racetrack turns 15 and this one, turn 16. It looks like it's going to be Moist to the line. Will it continue that way? Well, he's got the fastest time so far, and by a decent margin it seems, but we'll get all the times to you and the results of one-shot qualifying. I do rather like a bit of one-shot qualifying, I have to say. I just wish we could watch each lap from each driver. Anyway, Strike Moist takes pole position, a 22.1 from Mal Moses, who is not fighting for the second position at the moment. Sticky is, though, he's in third with Speedy Spud in fourth. Next comes Ash K and Floyd Pink with Triple Bay, Captain Nike, Marco, Jazzy and Ole. Ole fighting for second place in the championship is going to have to do a heck of a job then in the next two rounds, in the next two races, starting from 11th with a disqualified time, getting invalidated through that session and not doing his chances any favour whatsoever. I'll take you through the championship connotations during the sprint race, but as things stand, we're going to be on track and getting started and running very quickly. Here we have then the sprint race. I think this is going to be a 10-lap race in the dark, and it's gone dark very quickly. It didn't even have a dusk feature here. I think it might go back to dusk again at the start of the feature race. Never mind. We'll try and deal with that lack of continuity, and we wait then for the drivers to get themselves ready. I don't think we'll have the customary 5-minute break between quali and the start, but we are trying to get hold of a driver and bring them in to the race before it begins. So now it looks like Adam is not going to make it for us. He's trying, but unfortunately his internet is insufficient tonight to make the cut. So I think we're going to go racing nonetheless and get on with our sprint race here. As I said, double points on offer for the drivers tonight. So in the sprint race, that means 16 for the win, 14 for second place, 12 for third, 10 for fourth, and onwards down to 2 for eighth position. So, and just another reminder then, Spud on 150, Nike on 147, Sticky on 131, and Ole on 125. With it all to play for second place. And third, fourth and fifth, of course, but second is what they're all dreaming of as they arrive to the circuit tonight. Being given the command to get underway, so hopefully the drivers will click the button and we can go racing here for our sprint race. Certainly looking forward to seeing how the added stake of round 17 of the championship. Added stakes here with the race. So it looks like we are going to go for a traditional format of the formation lap. We're going to have, I'm assuming, 2 formation laps here. One of the drivers who will be gunning for that second position is Ole, and he is starting at the back with just the ghosted Alpine behind him. So we won't be seeing that Alpine driver tonight, but Ole in the scarlet and black Sauber, Alfa Romeo Sauber kick stake F1 team, call it what you will. And there are no possible race strategies apparently. No, it is a non-mandatory pit stop. Amazon Web Services telling us that the drivers will presumably not be worrying too much about using the soft tyres. Well, medium tyres, and one of the Mercedes, they're driving a slightly unusual line off the circuit. We've got Jazzy here in the Alpine at the back of the grid at the moment. Looks like he is going to take part, but seemed to be ghosted at the moment. Marco in 9th position for Ferrari, with Captain Nike for the Alpha Tauri in their final season, of course, F1 23. Then we've got Triple Bay and Floyd Pink, the 2 black arrows, who will be next to each other on the grid. And I've always said that the big advantage of starting next to your teammate is you've got your teammate next to you, and the big disadvantage of starting next to your teammate is that you've got your teammate next to you. So there is there's positives and negatives in either hand here for the Mercedes drivers. We've got Ash in the Williams qualifying up in 5th position, and then trying to make a good battle of it will be Spud and Sticky in 3rd and 4th. The lead Ferrari tonight, the lead Sauber tonight is Sticky's car, but the lead Ferrari is Mal Moses, our Canadian driver, connecting in across the pond. And then, of course, we have Moist, who has been imperious throughout the latter part of this season, and the season in totality as well. So We will await the sprint light standing start, of course, for 10 laps, no pit stops, just medium tyres for the whole field to run to a conclusion. No one gambling on the softs, and we'll be underway for you. The lights will be given the starting indication. We've got the green flag at the back of the track. We've got a disqualification from the formation lap there, so a poor temperature will be on board Captain Nike's car. Here come the green light, the red lights though. It's time to go racing. Let's drop the clutch and go, go, go. And it looks like a fairly even start across the field for the drivers as they barrel on into the fairly fast turn one. The Ferrari of Malmoses getting the nose ahead of Sticky's Alfa Romeo. And that looked like Speedy Spud just holding on with Ash still in 5th position. Triple Bay has dropped down to 8th and Captain Nike up to 7th place. And then a big challenge then into the hairpin for the first time. But Ash holding on with the Williams, got really, really good grip coming on out of the hairpin there and has got the nose ahead. But I think Speedy Spud will fancy a move. He's actually having to tuck in for a little bit of an extra slipstream. Late on the brakes. Ash leaves him a full car width and maybe a few inches spare at the apex just to make sure that there's no tagging or contact there. But it's Strike who has the lead of the race. Malmoses is in 2nd place and right with him, Malmoses with a purple middle sector of the racetrack. And hoping to try and stay with Moist here at the moment. We've got Ash and Sticky who are locked in battle. Spud down to 5th at the moment with a rear gunner of Captain Nike right with him. That's going to be interesting given that they're both punting here for the all-important 2nd place in the championship. Moist though not giving an inch here with the rest of the drivers. Doesn't fancy starting from the back and giving us a bit of a show. Fastest lap of course for the lead driver out over the line for the sprint race. And Malmoses holds on then with a good gap here to Moist. Might have the opportunity to continue with him if possible. And then the gap's just starting to open out a little bit as we run down the field. The second of the Ferraris is some distance away here from Ollie, who has made it up from 10th on the grid. Ollie has made it up all the way into P7 and a terrific change of position there. Just remember, of course, that all drivers are on the medium tyre, and then we can concentrate on places gained and lost. Ollie up 4 from his start. Captain Nike up 2 with both the Mercedes moving down. I wonder quite what occurred there, whether that was teammate on teammate, so-called blue on blue contact potentially. But let's go back up to P4 and see if Ash, well, they're not letting Moist get away with it too extremely. I have seen far more dominant displays happening. So Moist still trying to bring those tyres in, trying to bring the battery with him as well and have plenty of battery for later on in the race, as Ollie has taken another position now up to P6. Ollie and Marco too. It looked like perhaps Floyd was trying to have something to say about moving forward again. Triple Bay has dropped back quite away from his teammate as Ollie. We now, at the start of lap 3, will have the DRS enabled, so we will have a DRS train from P1 backwards down this first opportunity for the drivers. Captain Nike in the pits. I wonder if that's a little bit of damage potentially as he's dropped down the field. Here we have then the DRS train in full effect for the first time, and it looks like we've got Malmoses quarter of a second away here. Is going to go for the lead of the race potentially down the inside. Has he got the nose ahead? He absolutely hasn't. Strike has been hit. Strike has been struck and he's spinning and he's out of contention here at the moment. Now, was that a misjudgment? Did someone else fancy a run down the inside? Didn't see an indication that there might have been any contact, but presumably there must have been. Ash up 3 places now and he's into 2nd place, and Malmoses quite likes the idea of a clear track in front of him. Big gap behind Ash to Spud, and then it looks like Moist has managed to pick up back into 8th position. Uncharted waters for that Aston Martin, and I don't know if he quite knows how it's going to handle through the traffic. But Ash and Mal Moses, regardless of what the stewards may have to say later on, they have the lead of this race, with Mal Moses in front by 1.2 seconds, has actually cleared the DRS interval. So it will be Speedy Spud who has the first drivers behind him with DRS on the circuit. Lap 4 already. This truncated Yas Marina, the laps do go by pretty quickly. Ole up past Sticky now. Ole up to 4th. And this was going to help him a huge amount, because not only, of course, will this be double points for the sprint, but it's also going to mean improving your starting position over your one-shot qualifying. Of course, no one would expect Ole to have ended up with a disqualification, but that's what happens with the one-shot qualifying. Here comes Moist then, heading down towards turn 6 and 7, trying to recover some positions, I believe, and there he is, up into 6th place. Ole, though, on the offensive, trying to go the long way here around turn 9, and it can be done. In fact, he's gone for he's gone to make it work. Round the outside, gets the grip for the pickup on the inside of the next 2 corners. And that corner is going to belong to Ole, up to P3 and a potential podium from P10 in only 4 laps. What an ascendancy for Ole, our Dutchman. So in the Sauber, in the Alfa Romeo, he now will have his eyes set firmly on the back of the Williams of Ash that has made it up 3 positions. Just in the background, you can see Moist picking up the positions once again, and a new fastest lap for our reigning champion. But Ole, up 8 places, now needs to shed the Speedy Spud and the Sticky behind, who will be in his DRS wake. Will he be able to do that? Or will it actually end up just rubber banding those 2 back to him all the time? DRS board we go past. Of course, it is not for Ole. And here is then the battle. Speedy Spud trying to make up ground here, but it looks like Ole using some deployment on the battery, I have to assume. A big gap in the field as Captain Nike has dropped down with an unscheduled pit stop, and he picks up a new fastest lap on brand new soft tyres, of course. And with that unscheduled pit stop comes the opportunity to head into this. I don't know if we'll be picking up fastest lap points here for the sprint. I'm going to have to assume not, but we'll be on our way with double points for all point awarding happening in the Abu Dhabi of this feature race coming up. But P4 for Spud, exactly where he started. One of the only drivers, certainly in the top 8, who are exactly where they started, as 1.4 seconds is Mal Moses' gap at the head of the field. Ole has not been able to pick up any speed relative to Ash this lap. Presumably, though, he's having to charge the battery a little bit, as Moist finds himself in no man's land in 6th, not able to pick up a tow from the cars in front, which will be all important, of course, to try and get his lead back. But it looks like a long way to go for Moist here, with just 5 laps remaining. That's a slide. That's a big slide there from Speedy Spud, and he's going to lose the DRS on the back of Ole, is he? Well, he picks it up because he had the slide after the detection zone, but he's slow away from the corner. That means that that Speedy gets an opportunity to move 2 Alfa Romeos up into the top 4. But, well, some masterful positioning of the car there for Speedy Spud. Does that mean that Sticky can find his way through on the second attempt here? Second bite of the cherry for Sticky. No DRS, with the light flashing on the tail of the Alpha Tauri. And, well, he closes him off to the inside. Could have maybe left an extra inch or 2 at the apex, but Sticky up into 4th position now. So both Alfa Romeos up into the top 4 as the light display runs across the Yas Marina Hotel. And it looks like Ole has now found some pace relative to Ash, and is picking up some distant tow at 1.7 seconds away. Mal Moses holds on to the lead of the race, though, for Ferrari. What of the second Ferrari? Well, Marco is down into 9th place at the moment, and making no further headway. 13.7 seconds away from 8th position, and the last of the sprint race points, of course, paid for 8th place. So an important one there for the drivers to try and pick up if they can. Double points for both the sprint and the feature today. We have Speedy Spud then trying to make up for that error before. That little slide at the hairpin, easily done as Marco picks up our first time penalty here for track limits abuse. Here comes Speedy then to the inside, but the camera angle always foreshortens the distance between the drivers as they come head on towards the chicane. And now, paying a watching brief, is Moist, who has got himself back into contention here. Will be able to challenge, but Speedy Spud forced to go the long way around the outside. Will he have enough battery? And that was a very nice move round the outside, much cleaner actually than his rival Sticky on the lap before. But these two locked in battle, both of them trying to go for our second position in the championship. So it's all very important to these drivers to finish best of the rest, of course. Mal Moses up one position from his start. He will qualify on provisional pole position if he can complete this next 3 whole laps to go. Ash up 3 positions, Ole up 8, but seems to have stalled a little bit at 2 seconds away from Ash. Strike down 5 from the pole on the sprint quali, and trying to find his way back towards the podium here and back towards a good position for the win. Here comes then Sticky trying to clear Ash. Now that's an interesting place to go. Sorry, he's trying to clear Spud. It's an interesting place to go, but he managed to do it after having picked up the detection point for the DRS. He should get a second load of DRS, and he's very late on the brakes as well on the ideal racing line there. Moist right here now with the group, and will have DRS himself, but perhaps only Speedy Spud will not. No, Speedy Spud does get DRS down the second banana straight as they run down towards turn 9, and Ash ahead again, and here comes Moist into the mix to make this one a 3-way battle, and Speedy Spud back where he started in 4th position. But you've got to fancy that Moist will have a good go at this group. The lead group not that far away, but Sticky makes a mistake running into the hotel section. Easily done, misses the apex, and allows Strike Moist all the way through very, very easily. And Moist is next then in P5, and next one up the road for him will be Speedy Spud in 4th position. I wonder if Spud will be able to put up quite as much of a battle with Moist as he was with Sticky. We've got a pit stop for Triple Bay ongoing. I wonder if that's for a new front wing. Let's see. It is not. No, he just fancies some soft tyres. So an interesting strategic decision there. Doesn't think he's going to lose a position, I presume. Here is Moist ready to strike. He's got the DRS open. There's a movement across to the middle of the racetrack there for the Alpha Tauri. And Moist not going for it this time, being very, very cautious before having a go. I think he wants that second DRS detection and deployment opportunity, but he's actually ended up too far away. I think Spud knew exactly what was coming and delayed his ERS deployment until that second straight. So clever defensive work there, as Moist trying to play this one quite coy. But if he wants to get on the podium, he can't be too coy about it. He has to strike immediately as soon as he comes upon another driver. We are down to 2 laps remaining of this sprint race, and it is Mal Moses in the lead by 3 seconds from Ash, from Ole in 3rd position. Ole going for the 2nd place in the championship in that group, and he was the rearmost of 4 on the fewest points was Ole going into this sprint. So it's going to be very, very important and very interesting to see. He's trying to find a way through, is Moist. A defence to the inside goes Spud, and into the switchback goes Moist with the DRS this time, I fancy, and he's pulling across to the extreme left of the circuit to stop another pickup of DRS. But why on earth could he not make it through and past? He must have greater downforce on the car. a little slide from Moist might mean that he's not going to pick it up this time either. We better go up to the head of the field, though, because heading into turn 9 is our leader. I'm just going to check out, is Moist going to make it through? Side by side they go, round turn 9. Moist is on the favoured side of the circuit here. Should just about hold on, and I think he will. So we've got Mal Moses heading through Latifi corner. Out of the hotel, 2 to go for Mal Moses here in the sprint. This will mean a P1 start for our feature race. It'll mean a double points win of the sprint goes the way of Mal Moses, and congratulations to him. Then we come up with Ash and Ollie. Couldn't quite make it, but P3 for Ash is certainly no mean feat whatsoever. We then go to Moist in 4th. Spud finishes 5th in the sprint. We've got Sticky in 6th. 7th goes the way of Floyd, and then the final sprint point goes to Marco. I believe that's true. Have I just made a mistake? No. The final sprint 2 points goes the way of Marco. We've got Triple Bay and Jazzy Jim finishing out the group, and that is how they will start the feature race as well. So plenty for Moist to do still here as we go off circuit with the Alpine. And we will get our sprint race results on screen for you. Here they are then. Mal Moses wins and will pick up 16 points with this Abu double that we've got on our hands. Ash in 5th position. Ollie in 2nd. Ollie in 3rd. Strike in 4th. Strike Moist, our champion, in 4th, with Spud in 5th. Sticky, Floyd, Triple Bay, Marco, Jazzy Jim, and we've got Captain Knight there as well, down in the order. So we've got Ole coming in 3rd position. We'll pick up 12 points for that one. And I will now do my level best to try and get you some points updates here for the drivers. Spud in 5th, Sticky in 6th. It's time to go back racing then. It's the feature race for our Abu Double here. And I can tell you that my provisional calculations reveal, and take them with a pinch of salt, of course, but my provisional calculations reveal that Spud is on 158 now. Captain Nike remains on 147. And when we have a tie for fourth place between Sticky and Ole, both on 137. I couldn't possibly imagine how to calculate which of those would actually get the fourth place on countback. But there you go. That's what I think is the situation, and I will do my best to try and reveal the provisional second, third, and fourth positions in the championship as we come to the end of the coverage tonight. As long as we don't run too late. We have had a couple of delays already here tonight, and a big mix of tyres, bit of a rainbow pattern. We've got hards on Miles Moses, who's confident of his release from the start. We've got Ash on mediums and Ole on softs. Next up, hards again on moist, and he's going for a slow, getting faster kind of a strategy with Speedy Spud, Sticky, Floyd and Triple all on mediums. Marco using the soft tyres. Real disagreement then about the right way to go racing tonight, and that's fantastic because that means lots of permutations for us to enjoy as we watch along. Jazzy Jim is in 10th and Captain Nike is on the hard tyres, Jim on the mediums. And welcome if you're just joining us. This is the second race start we will have tonight. Of course, we had the sprint race, double points on offer to finish our season 2 off with the 17th race of the championship. One of the longest league racing championships I've ever encountered, I have to say. And bravo to everyone who has made it to the end. Mal Moses with a great position to start this race. Moist down in fourth place. We'll be looking forward to seeing him moving forward, but perhaps not too soon on the hard tyres. So who fancies Ole into certainly into turn 5 here for the potential lead of the race on those soft tyres? We shall see. The last car's getting into position. The green flag is waved at the back. We have 29 laps for you here of the feature race. Again, Captain Nike being disqualified from this particular session, just can't quite match up in his boxes as the drivers build the revs, the crowd build the excitement, and we are going to go racing for the last time in season 2. Here we go then. The engine note lifts and it's time to go. It is time to drop the clutch and go. The hard starting tyres will be slow from the start. Looks like the Williams has drawn fully alongside. There is Ash into the lead of the race, and it is a bit of a 10-pin bowling situation. I think that may have been triggered by Ole, who may have tagged the back of the Ferrari. Difficult for me to say, but on soft tyres, he obviously had the impetus. Now he's going to have a lot of work to do, and it was just gifted to Moist up into second place in the race at the moment. Spud and Sticky are fighting over that third position, but it is advantage Spud at the moment. He is 8 points clear of Captain Nike for second place in our championship as we head down into one of the chief overtaking points of the circuit for the first time of asking. Little lock up there from the I think that was from Triple Bay as he's under pressure from Captain Nike behind. Mal Moses all the way down to the tail of the field recovering there. May have had a second spin because I thought he was back racing a bit quicker than that. Ole has managed to squeeze his way through, and there may be a hint of further contact here. I'll need to be very careful with that front wing now because it could be hanging on by a thread. We will see. Ole in 5th place, but on the soft tyres, advantage now, but he can't use it until he can pass these cars ahead. It's getting a little bit dicey here. End of term feeling for the drivers at the final race of the season. There are really no sanctions that can apply to the drivers. Should be uncorked fun here, really, for the drivers tonight, as I don't think they'll have any penalties carry through into season 3. Should be a hard reset for everybody, I believe. But Ash leads this race at the moment, and on the medium tyres, the favoured race tyre here, and just about everywhere in this particular game as well. No DRS at this early stage of proceedings, but it does look like Sticky and Spud are starting to fancy their chances at a podium here. Not just a podium on the race, but a podium on the final standings of the season as well. Sticky just released Ole. And knowing that Ole is on the soft tyres, they are also thinking, of course, about the Constructors' Championship tonight. So a little bit of selflessness there from Sticky, hoping that will come back, that karma will come back positively for him in future. As down into the turn 9, banked turn 9, all newly profiled turn 9 there. Runs Captain Knight with Bay and with Marco behind. Mal Moses has made it up to 10th position, managed to clear the Alpine of Jazzy Jim. But unfortunately, my timing screens are not telling me the accurate intervals. We're just getting lap times at the moment. That should shake itself out shortly, and we'll have some decent intervals and race stats for you very, very soon. Well, running just down through the order then. Ash is first with Strike, Moist in second position. Next comes Spud and Ollie and Sticky all together. We then have Floyd, Nike, Marco, Triple Bay, Mal Moses and Jazzy Jim in 11th. It's lap 3 of 29. That's a purple sector for Moist and starting to build the speed now as he runs into the properly heated phase of these hard tyres. He will start to hope that he can at least stay with Ash, if not put him under some pressure through this phase and then be released as soon as Ash has to pit before him. And it could be that both drivers elect to go onto soft tyres at the end of this race, unless of course Moist can't make his way through. And we did see a difficulty on top speed for Moist in the sprint race. Now he won't have been able to change very much, maybe just a little turn of front wing, perhaps front wing angle, but nothing material on the car. He's going to have to find ways to drive fast at the rest of the circuit if his top speed is betraying him tonight. Yellow flag we have in sector 3, looks to have been cleared quickly enough. Well, that's very helpful for us. And here is Moist then, half a second, as DRS will be enabled very, very soon. Ollie with the new fastest lap of the race. He's keen to get on with it. He's keen to move up from joint 4th in the championship. He's got a big climb though. He's got to gain 11 points to overhaul Captain Nike's points at the end of the sprint. But with double points on offer, that is more than possible, especially if he can get himself up onto the podium. However, his teammate Sticky won't thank him if he gets too close to provisional second. Here is then Moist looking for an opportunity. No DRS has been enabled at this stage, so they are braking heavily down into turn 6 and through turn 7, little chicane. This is the official turn 8, the long sweeping left-hander. Ash sticking left on the track here. Doesn't want to open the door too wide into turn 9. And Moist is going to have to think about getting on with this one, because Spud and Ollie are right on his tail. We have got a very tasty battle here for the lead of the race at the early part of proceedings, as we did in Brazil as well. By the end of the race, Moist had run away with it, but this is not all going his own way tonight, and an interruption into his plan A, which was to win the sprint, win the feature and get pole. Well, the sprint didn't go his way at all. Here is Moist then, half a second still and a very small gaps, and in fact even Sticky has managed to stay with his teammate Ollie in the background. So we have a top 5 altogether. Captain Knight will pick up points in his position if he finishes where he is now. So he's currently in P3 in the championship. That's going to make my end of race maths very complicated. Here is Moist then, down the inside potentially, but doesn't want to go for it, and he was a little bit shy into that first chicane in the sprint. So will he be tempted here to try something different, because it looks like top speed is just not with him here tonight. He might need to find a new place to make an overtake, potentially down into turn 5, even into turn 1 is possible, and you can sneak a way through as if you can put pressure on a driver and have them make a mistake. Ash driving very smoothly at this stage as they roll through Latifi corner out onto the turquoise strip on the outside of the circuit there. Ash may be getting a little wide under pressure. For a moment, he was 0.2 of a second was his lead only. Here are the top 5 then. Tremendous stuff. Ash, Moist, Speedy Spud, Hector Ollie and Sticky Icky in 5th place now, and putting quite a distance on the rest of the field. Big gap between 5th and 6th. Ash thought about a defence into the hairpin, but instead favours a very wide entry for an ideal exit. Might need to use some deployment here, need to use some electrical energy boost. The driver's going with Moist on the left-hand side of the circuit, but look at how Moist is running out at top speed once again. Obviously the Williams in 2023 was very quick in a straight line. These cars are all on World Car multiplayer equalised performance, of course, so no difference between the cars, just the colours. That is where things stand for these drivers. And again, looks like Moist just has too much downforce to take on Ash in a straight line. He's going to have to just pile on the pressure here and hope he doesn't get mugged. He needs to hold on to that DRS. This is a very interesting strategic situation for Moist. Doesn't have the top speed under normal circumstances to make the pass, so he's going to have to play this one very clever. Live with the dirty air, take the hard tyres longer, and try and put in some quick laps to leapfrog Ash in the pits potentially further on into our race towards half distance, or maybe slightly further than half distance if the drivers want to use the softs. But here is Moist, and of course if he gets ahead in the DRS detection line there, as you saw, he would then struggle, and he missed the apex, focusing on not running into the back of the Williams. But he does get that DRS that he was in need of. He's going to need to stay defensive here because of his top speed disadvantage. Will Spud try risking going all the way around 2 cars? But no, he's just going to stick with trying to get Moist here, wheel to wheel, as an invisible wall of respect between the 2 cars, and Moist just with the slightly better grip on the way out of the corner. What has happened to Ash? Well, Ash is almost like he's missed a gear, but he may have run out of electrical deployment. Moist takes the lead, Spud into 2nd, and Ash down to 3rd out of nowhere. Absolutely amazing. Now we've got Ollie and Sticky very close to one another again, as Sticky released Ollie in the hope that he would be able to move forward Ollie on the soft tyres. But Ollie's going to have to try and do something unusual here. Try and pit early. Hope these guys hold each other up. Maybe that window was already closed for Ollie to have potentially put the hards on and actioned a big undercut, and at least got back onto level playing field with these drivers. Strike in the lead. Speedy Spud in 2nd. Ash, Ollie and Sticky, the following cars here. And it looks like Strike, now that he can see some clear air, isn't worried about the driver in front or being challenged too strongly. Is starting to gap the field. He's not out of DRS range yet, though. This is still the danger point for Moist because of his top speed issue. Speedy Spud, but quite what happened to Ash at the end of the 2nd straight is quite beyond me. It's like he forgot to press for the 8th gear, the upshift. Yeah, very strange situation. We've got a yellow flag. One of the that looks to just be a Mercedes coming out of the pits, causing a yellow flag, strangely. Speedy Spud did get very close there to Moist, and of course Spud could do a great job here for his bid for 2nd in the championship if he can finish up in the highest points paying positions with the double points on offer tonight. Marco passes Mal Moses. What has happened to Mal Moses here after terrific pace in sprint on the hard tyres? He's not happy at all. He may be considering an early switch onto medium tyres just to get off those hard tyres. Of course, Moist able to make those work at the moment. Captain Nike less so, but head best of the rest, as it were, from the top 5. Captain Nike in 6th, with Floyd in 7th. Big gap then to Marco. Small gap to Moses. And Jazzy Jim is here as well to play. And certainly going to try and do his best. Mal Moses is retired from the race. And he's done so in the pits. That shouldn't cause us a caution period. Mal Moses, that is a huge shame for him. I wonder if he was carrying some damage from that lap 1. explaining why he was so slow after the incident. And still within a second are the top top five within a second of each other. But Ash looking for a way back into second place now. Has DRS, but so does the AlphaTauri in front of him. And this is the big issue that we have with DRS, is it just nullifies any advantage for the following cars. And it's all the impetus is on the first car with DRS to actually make anything happen, or to be so slow that they lose the DRS. Ash just half a second now away from Speedy Spud. We'll ride on board with Ash for a few moments and see if he's looking quicker at any portion. Well, there was a mistake there from the AlphaTauri of Spud, missing the apexes a little bit. Tyres will still be in a good place here for the medium tyres, so can't really blame tyres for him. Marco picks up a 5-second penalty, making his pit stop, so it is absolute woe for Ferrari tonight. It's not happening for the Prancing Horse. Here is Ash then with the DRS. The AlphaTauri this time does not have the DRS. Let's go to the trackside camera and watch as going for the move and successfully making the move work. Down into turn 6 and 7 goes Ash, back into second place, but with a bit of a mountain to climb to try and catch Moist as things stand. Moist still on those hard tyres and able to put in a tremendous pace. Ash will still now have competition at turn 9. What can he do? Is this defendable? He's just got the nose ahead. He hasn't quite got the tail ahead as they run through the fast corners. How late the people dare be? There's a possible contact to the corner. Ash holding firm, and it looks like Ollie has snuck his way through there underneath the hotel. And very patient driving from Ollie, especially as he's still on those soft tyres. They do seem to be letting go on him a little bit as they run through the final corner. Ole will be hoping to get rid of those tyres soon. They may make it to lap 15, but not much further. So this is going to be very interesting for Ole. He can't use his advantage on the soft tyres, but crucially, can he get so far into the race that he opens the tyre window for the medium tyres, I wonder? That has got to be his target. He would not like to go from softs to hards here for the end of the race. Ash has used his battery, so advantage Ollie potentially. Just a little bit too far behind though. And they're letting Moist get away here. Moist with a problem in the sprint. Ended up starting way down for him in fourth, but has managed to find his way up to the lead of the race. There you have it, the Aston Martin. 2.5 seconds in the lead as things stand, and Ollie in third, just behind Ash. Ollie looking racy tonight. Didn't qualify, well, certainly had his lap disqualified in one-shot qualifying, and has been fighting his way back to the front ever since. Had great pace in Brazil, just couldn't bring it to a great finish in the end. But cream rises to the top over the course of a feature race, and there goes Ash into the pits, and he's blinking off the mediums before the soft tyres shod Ollie. So Ollie will have a little smile to himself in the helmet there at the thought that that Ash is taking the mediums off. But now that could be very important for Ash, because we have a safety car after the retirement, I think, of Triple Bay. A full safety car has been deployed. So now we also have Marco with a safety car penalty, a drive-through penalty, and that eats away at the advantage that Moist had. The window is not open for soft tyres to the end of the race. I think it's open for mediums if you're conservative on your medium tyres, but those medium runners at the moment in third, fourth and fifth, I think their only option is going to be the ill-favoured hard tyre if they decide to pit under this particular safety car. And why wouldn't they? It has to be the major call here from the drivers will be to pit at this point, but unfortunately They won't be able to use those soft tyres at the end of the race. It couldn't be better for Ole, who can now get rid of those heavily used softs. Ash has put softs on. What, Ash? What? He wasn't expecting the safety car to come at that point, I think, and he's put on soft tyres. I can't see soft tyres running the distance, even on light fuel. So Ash may have made an error, may just be alternating here and putting softs and then putting some mediums on next, and eliminating the advantage he had under the safety car pitting. Moist has got a time penalty. That's important because he wasn't fully clear of the rest of the field. Ole in second, Speedy Spud in third, and Stick in the fourth place as they run into the pits. You can get caught behind your teammate or behind the train here coming through the pits. Less of a problem with a reduced field of only 8 drivers, but now we see the tyre choices. Moist on mediums, Ole on mediums. They'll be line astern with one another. Ash has gone past and got himself in the gap between Moist and Ole, it looks like, on his new soft tyres. He's going to have to tiptoe around this circuit, especially right at the very end. Here's Ash in the Williams, but it'll be racy from the start. And here we have the safety car has been picked up, and that will chew through a couple of laps, 2 minimum, hopefully only 2. So where do we find ourselves at this stage of the race? Doesn't want to tell me about pit stops. But Nike has moved up 4, but mostly out of the misfortune of others. Moist has moved up 3, mostly by his own power. And he's up there at the head of the field, but not quite what he was hoping for here. Safety car. Just going to condense the field, bring the drivers back to his rear view mirrors. The rest of the drivers will now have the opportunity to catch the safety car. Some distance here for the Alpine of Jazzy Jim to go before he catches up the field. In terms of penalties, it's just that one penalty, I think, for Moist, that 3-second penalty. We'll go back to the tyre view because that will be important later on. Just the one penalty to remember. But Ash in second, Ole in third place on the same tyres as our leader. Spud will be vulnerable, as will Floyd on the restart, I fear, because of the hard tyre effect. They'll be strong at the end of the race, though, as we near the halfway point. About halfway around this lap will be the halfway point of our feature race. Full safety car in effect. I think that was the retirement of Triple Bay, because I'm pretty sure both Ferraris retired in the pits for us, very sportingly. So all the progress in the race reduced down now to just 8 car lengths, as it should be on the restart. In total, we've got lap 14, and we wait firstly, I think, for Jazzy Jim to catch the field, and then hopefully the lights will go out on top of the Aston Martin safety car, and we can get ourselves back racing once again. I'm getting very crossed up now that the 2024 Formula One season has started and we start renaming these teams. I'm getting very, very confused. Taking a retrograde step back to previous nomenclatures. I kind of got used to AlphaTauri. For a while there, I was calling it AlphaTauri. But no, I kind of got used to calling it AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo. And now I have no Alphas on the season, so very very interesting. I notice none of the TV coverage I enjoyed over the weekend. I'll say enjoyed. I watched was actually used this VCARB acronym. Everybody was using RB, which is very clumsy. But it looks to be that the safety car is going to stay out for us. I think possibly because of the big gap at the tail of the field. But Ash has decided to go into the pits. I thought he might chance a double stop. The mediums will be a far better race tyre for him. The question is, can he navigate his MFD? And no, he hasn't got a set of mediums remaining. He's going onto the hard tyres, so it is double pain for Ash. He's going to be at the tail of the field and on the worst tyres available for racing. So, interesting there. I do think Sticky is going to be struggling later on, though, on the soft tyres at the end of the race, and he may regret not taking the same step as Ash. With a shortened field that we have now, Ash's risk is reduced going down to the tail of the field as it is. Greetings if you're joining us at the moment live. Do drop us a note. Introduce yourselves. Tell us who you're cheering on, or if you find a new favourite driver while you're with us tonight. It'd be nice to see what our audience are thinking at the moment. What do you fancy? What are your predictions for the podium? You can only pick 3. Don't go ahead and hedge your bets. Let's have bold predictions, please. And hopefully this will be the only safety car with just 8 cars left in the field. It needs to be a spectacular failure to drift debris all over the circuit. Miguelito says cheering on Moist. He's a long-time friend. Excellent stuff. Well, you picked a bit of a winner there, haven't you? And I don't know if you've been watching from the start, but the sprint race didn't go Moist's way, but he's back on imperious form here at the head of the field. We'll see if he can hang on. Has been made a little bit easier with Ash now. Not the closest car to him. Moist becomes the safety car essentially now. He chooses when to press the loud pedal in anger, and hopefully we won't have any complications at the rear of the field. Usually the drivers do it midpoint of the final corner at their best opportunity. Yeah, and he goes already. Steals a bit of a lead here on Ollie, who has been quick through the race, making moves forward throughout the sprint and feature race so far. But now we'll just watch for any drivers making any big errors on cold tyres, because that is very frequent occurrence after the safety car. Ash is stuck behind the Alpine at the moment. That's not going to help him. But nice small gap here between Sticky and Spud. Both of them fighting for that all-important 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions in our overall championship, as well as those positions here in the race. Looks like Spud just moving across the inside of the circuit, a little bit ahead, defending fresh air potentially. Ash has got through. He's now up into 7th place. And occasionally it looks like that Alpine is ghosting. I don't know if he is or not, of Jazzy Jim. I think he may be. But there we have Moist in the lead, 1.5 seconds from Hector Ollie, with Speedy Spud in 3rd position and Sticky right with him. This could be a good race here with Sticky on the soft tyres. Needs to get past quickly and maximise his chances of getting those soft tyres to the end, but just try and avoid flat spotting them as well and avoid any further damage to those tyres. It is going to be very, very difficult, but I'm fairly sure he will give it his all. He can go for broke here, because the strategy is what it is. The last thing you want to do is have another pit stop. You've got to be aware of a potential further safety car and come in and get some good tyres on if a safety car is going to happen. But for Sticky, he's just got to live with what he's got on the car now, as we are deep into the second half of our feature race. Sticky has a 3-second penalty, and that is not good news for him at all. That's going to hurt Sticky. So he just has to now hope that Spud and Ollie pick up those similar penalties. Ollie still within the penalty window of taking the win at the moment. Back from Moist. with Moist on a 3-second time penalty. Still the smallest gap in the field here between Sticky and Spud, but Spud is closing with DRS to the back of Ollie. Could well end up with another three-way battle here for second place. Moist is checking out, it seems. 2.6 seconds at the head of the field. I'm sure that will please Miguelito watching. Although maybe Miguelito is more of a fan of Moist actually racing other drivers. Would he prefer to see Moist being more closely challenged, perhaps? Well, Sticky continuing on through our race. We have 12 to go in the race, and at the moment he's not able to maximize these soft tires, and as the laps tick by, his advantage disappears and it becomes a major disadvantage. But at the moment he will still have a pace edge over the hard tire shod Speedy Spud in front of him. Remember all those struggles that Moist was having with his top speed? Well, they're a thing of the past now. A dim and distant memory for Moist. Sticky couldn't be much closer going through those corners, and Ash likewise. We'll see Ash potentially go for a maneuver, but Sticky all the way alongside. You can make the side-by-side work here, and sometimes the outside move works because you're on the inside for the next two, and it turns out exactly that way as Sticky goes up into third place, and he's got his teammate in front of him. Now, remember earlier on when the roles were reversed with the tyres, Sticky let Ollie through. Will Ollie do the same thing for Sticky? I wonder, are they actually in a party chat? Do they have a neutral engineer potentially in their ear, just telling them the team orders? I don't think so. I think it's something they're going to have to hash out between the two of them. Sticky looking good, and he'll have great traction out of the hairpin. Captain Knight picks up a penalty as well. So we have 3 lots of 3-second penalties on our cars. The black and white flags here. Sticky looking very good through turn 9. Couldn't be much sweeter. And it looks like Ollie is not fighting this one very hard. Sticky just bringing Speedy Spud with him, but roles were reversed. And some very sporting behaviour between the two Kick Sauber Alfa Romeo stake F1 cars. I'm hedging my bets now, aren't I? Just using every name I can think of. But Striker's in the lead by 3.2 seconds. What kind of pace has Sticky got to challenge Moist's lead? He's going to be happy bringing Ollie with him, but less happy bringing Spud with the pair of them. So Sticky may just want to build a gap here. He needs to build a gap for his championship credentials and for the fact that the two cars behind him do not have the same amount of penalty. We have a yellow flag heading through Latifi. That's a slow-looking car. Now, is that Captain Nike has had a problem? It is Captain Nike who's had a Latifi-sized problem. Potentially. He's still running, but he's got to come into the pits. Potentially some damage on the car. There is Moist, head of the field, as he's used to being. But Sticky extending a little bit out to 4.5 tenths of a second. So Nike will not score any further points either. And that could put his third place in the championship at extreme jeopardy. He only had a 10-point lead over Sticky and Ollie coming out of the sprint. So that's really important. Ollie is going back for a move, and they're playing it very clean and fair. They might be trying the old after use DRS taking turns, but it's not worked out because Sticky has fallen back, and now Spud has taken third place. Sticky going from second down to fourth in the space of just 2 corners and half a straight. And that was a big problem there for Sticky, and his tyres are really letting go. Look at the power slide coming out of turn 9 for Sticky. Well held, sir. Style points are plenty, but unfortunately, style points don't buy you championship points. I wonder if they should. I don't know. Tell me, do you think if Commentator awards style points, you should get them added to your championship total? I wonder. We'll see some dramatic racing if that's the case. Sticky just can't live with those soft tyres. He's not going to see the end of the race. We have 10 to go here. excuse me, 9 to go as Ash gets past Sticky now. Ash moves forward, so Sticky may actually end up losing his current 4th place in the championship out to Ole. Of course, everyone who finishes today will get double championship points for that. And I wonder, Sticky in the pits, he's come back out. He will keep fighting, which is good to see. We don't really like to see drivers giving up, especially when we don't have a full field of drivers to start with. Spud versus Ole is picking right up again. Spud on 8-lap old hards, Ole on 8-lap old mediums. The mediums will be in much better state here. So what Spud is doing is outperforming his tyre disadvantage and staying right with Ole. Spud versus Ole here. Spud to try and secure 2nd place. Miguelito says, who is first in championship points? Miguelito, I'm bringing into question now your long-term friendship with Moist, because Moist has already won the championship, and that's why I'm all talking about 2nd. Moist has won it by a country mile, so this race was all about deciding the 2nd onwards positions. Moist is winning the championship by more than he's winning this particular race at the moment, absolutely convincingly. He's won it, trophy has been delivered, he is very comfortable. He can't even taste the champagne anymore from his championship victory. How about Floyd then? A 3-second penalty, but he was just getting on the back of Ash. We'll see if they'll have any action between the two of them, I wonder. But definitely picking up the pace here. Ash taking that double pit stop through the safety car period. Is hoping to try and bring the car forward, but he has lost a significant amount of time. David says, I had a shocker today, and that is Captain Nike. So that is a shame, because it looks like Sticky and Ole are going to possibly take your 3rd place of the championship, Captain Nike. Here is Ash versus Floyd again, but Speedy Spud for 2nd place here. Is trying to get through past the Alfa Romeo, but no way through just yet. Hector Ole versus Speedy Spud. Ole could jump 2 places in the championship, even just finishing where he is, by my very rough guesswork that is happening at the moment. I'll try and give you a provisional championship standing before I close out today. But right now, it is looking like Spud is going to hold on to 2nd in the championship. He's got some great pace right now as well, has Spud, on the hard tyres versus the mediums of Ole. Looks like Ash just starting to move away now a little bit from Floyd Pink. Ash bringing the car back from 8th after the safety car. But quite a distance. 6 seconds there, you can see them, Ash and Floyd behind. Here is Speedy Spud then, with a good opportunity. Might wait till the next straight. And I'd love to hear actually from Captain Nike once again as to what exactly went wrong today for you. You know, you said you had a shocker, but any particular reason, lack of practice? What was going down for you today? Speedy Spud completes the move up into 2nd position, and now 0.3 of a second away, timing that move into turn 9 beautifully, and just staying nice and steady on the way down the longest straight down to turn 6 and 7, so that he would have an unanswerable stab of DRS. And now Spud looks like he's got the pace to start pulling away, and he can still see Strike Moist up ahead. I wonder if he would wonder if he'll be thinking about moving forward. Rear downforce wasn't there. Wing was too low, says Captain Nike or David. Yeah, it does look like Moist has been running higher downforce today than the rest of the field. He struggled in traffic, but as soon as he captured the lead, he's been unstoppable. It is a delicate balancing act here. And I think the changes to Abu Dhabi circuit have only made that balancing act even harder. Let me know what you think. But it's actually taken the track to a sort of medium downforce with very low downforce straights. kind of a circuit from a kind of balance setup that it used to be. You could get away in the race with running low downforce before, but now with turn 9, which is particularly quick, I think that has changed the profile of the racetrack quite a lot. Well, Spud holding off that particular challenge. Ollie just 0.3 of a second behind still. And the last few laps have ticked away very quickly. We're down to 5 to go at the end of this one. When Moist crosses the line around now. So we have just 5 laps to finish out this season. David is cheering on Spud, which is good to see. I like to see drivers being supported and cheered on. They love it when they watch it back as well. So good to see. Captain Knight cheering on Spud and hoping that Ole doesn't get more than 10 points out of this race and overtake him in the championship. So no points, of course, if you didn't finish today. And here we go. It is Ollie back on Spud, trying to force a defensive move, which would have bought him a huge advantage on the traction out. But Spud wasn't buying what Ollie was selling there. Completely impassive and didn't believe the dummy that was being sold, and expertly done. And he uses the middle of the road under braking for turn 9. That is very canny work from Spud. I like to see that. Doesn't cause any accidents, doesn't do anything extreme, just moves to the middle slightly, and it just stops. It just outfoxes, out positions the Alfa Romeo at that point. Unfortunately, though, they are going to let Moist get away with this, but I'm pretty sure that they were on to a bit of a hiding for nothing, trying to chase down Moist. I'm pretty sure they know that this is all about the battle between the two of them. Ash has not been able to gap Floyd, who has found a rare run of form here towards the latter stages of this evening's racing. Floyd has really picked up some pace and found something in that Mercedes on the hard tyres, which you don't always see. You usually see drivers complaining and struggling on hard tyres, so it's good to see. He's found a good bit of form. Speedy Spud then. He's certainly advantaged to the following car here. And do the drivers start wondering now? I'm questioning. Do they start wondering about whether they would rather be the hunter or the hunted on the final lap of the race? That has got to be very important. They're going to be furiously wondering how little electrical deployment dare they breathe into the engine in these last few laps to make sure that they can battle with a full arsenal in the final lap. It is fascinating to see. I'm going to break with tradition here. I don't usually like to show telemetry, but I just have to see between these two. 59%, 60% on Speedy Spud, down to 40 only on Ole. So there's very little the drivers can do about that now, even if they're listening in to the commentary, which sometimes they do. I find it fascinating drivers are able to do that, actually. Shout out to them if they can. I would not be able to drive with someone prattling on in the background, let alone a teammate even talking to me either. But that is the situation with regard to electrical deployment. Advantage Spud at this time, and he will only use the bare minimum that he can get away with before we close out the race. And I'll take it off screen because it's a little bit distracting to see. But Moist then, his lead, 6.7 seconds, not devastating the pace, but he's trying to just get those mediums to the end. We'll get double points for the fastest lap as well tonight, I believe. So I'll have a look at that in a moment. We'll just see this next section. Oh, Spud's picked up another penalty. Ollie will see that and be very pleased. He'll almost be guaranteed second place on the race now, thanks to that penalty. Doesn't now need to make the overtake. Doesn't need to do anything. Can even afford to give away a penalty of his own, because Speedy Spud has now got 2. Well, the fastest lap goes the way of Moist at the moment by some margin again. Penalty-wise, Spud has a 3-second And it's just Ollie who stayed between the white lines here, as well as Jazzy Jim. Very, very interesting as they come to lap Jazzy Jim before the end. He has been lapped by the leader, who starts his penultimate lap now. So we're going to close this one out. Horrible moment there for Spud, driving through a ghosted rival. Don't you just hate it? But Speedy Spud, 7.4 seconds away from the lead. Is all about focusing on what is Ollie going to try next. When is he going to give it a go? Is he just going to stay within DRS on this lap and go all in on the final lap into turn 9, I wonder? When there is really very little you can do to answer. Down we go into turn 6. Smoother run through there than Spud. Might translate to a better run on the way out. Who knows? Reminder that Spud is doing this on hard tyres and staying ahead of a medium tyre driver. That tyre life, the tyre wear age of lappage on the tyres is a little bit false. You can -2 from those because of the safety car period. And we are about to close out this race and close out our Abu Dhabi season finale of season 2. Spud flirting with the Latifi barrier there. He'll have had his heart in his mouth, but I think he's starting to use the ERS advantage that he's got. And we start the final lap with 2nd and 3rd positions on track now. Can Spud hold on? He's got some support here in the live chat, but can Spud hold on to it with Ollie right behind? Spud will hope to take the checker in 2nd, but with the gap at the moment, maybe Ollie has just decided, you know what, it's unlikely to happen here for Spud to hold on. And the worst thing that Ollie could do now is end up giving away an all-important finishing position by catching his own penalty. Down we go then. The final opportunity really for an overtake coming up. I'm not sure it's going to happen as both of them have drained the batteries. There we go. I think just that penalty has just nullified this race a little bit for us. Moist, once again, he is about to take the final race of the year, as he did the previous week in Brazil. Moist takes the championship, takes the win, and keeps shutting out the other drivers from the biggest trophy on offer. Here comes Spud then, taking the plaudits from the team, thanking the team as he crosses the line. But it's Ole who takes the 2nd place, Spud in 3rd, and we run down to 4th. It's just, I'm just going to try and give you a points calculation to the best of my ability. And of course, prior to any steward inquiries, Ash picks up 4th. The game decides that that's enough for tonight. So I can tell you that Spud finishes this one on, let me just finish. So Spud finishes on 173 points. We have Ole, who is going to finish this season Ole is going to finish, excuse me. I see Ole is going to finish. Wow. Ole, with that 2nd place, finishes on equal points with Spud. I have no idea how to do a countback. You can try and give me an idea here, but Spud and Ole will finish on joint 173 points. As we look through our final standings, I could tell you as well that Sticky is going to finish this race on a total of 153. So he will, all 3 of the drivers that finished here tonight will overtake Captain Nike. It will be Moist, Spud and Ole, depending on countback, followed by Sticky, and then Captain Nike. Your order in the championship. There is your race order. Tremendous stuff from the drivers. They put in a really, really special one for you. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's race. I hope that your appetite is whetted for season 3, when we hope to come back and be with you. I'm not quite sure when that is. Subscribe to the channel today, like the video if you can, and then hopefully, if they keep me employed, I will be broadcasting the new season as soon as it's ready. I will be trying to do a charity stream next week, so if you see my name pop up elsewhere, I will try and plug the video for the charity stream this time next week. But from us here at the International Racing League, this is season 2 signing out. Thank you to everybody who has done this one. Thank you for everyone who has dropped a comment as well. Great to see you all, and we will catch you on the next race day.